Having bad genetics is a real thing, and I'm gonna prove it to you right now. I'm gonna tell you why it's not really a bad thing. You shouldn't be stressing out if you have bad genetics. In this study, scientists wanted to understand how small molecules called microRNAs can affect muscle growth when people do resistance exercise training. For the ones that don't know what that is, lifting weights. MicroRNAs play a crucial role in regulating gene expression and protein synthesis in various cellular processes, including muscle development and adaptation. They studied 56 young men who did weight training 5 days a week for 12 weeks. They took small samples of muscle from these men and looked at the levels of 21 specific microRNAs to see if any of them could explain why some people gain more muscle mass from weight training than others. They found that most of the microRNAs stayed the same during training, but 4 of them, including microRNA 378, 29A, 26A, and 451, were different between those who gained a lot of muscle, which were the high responders, and those who didn't gain as much, which were the low responders. They discovered that microRNA 378 was lower in low responders, while microRNA 451 was higher compared to high responders. This is pretty much what that study is basically telling us. And that is in the sense of building muscle in the gym. And also your microRNAs that I discussed, they might not grow as aggressively either. It could just be like a dysregulation of microRNAs. Kind of like when you're in Walmart and you're like trying to get to your item, but like there's some person walking like way too slow and you're trying to get around them, but you can't. And here is another study. I had to step it up a notch and I had to put a second study in with this video. Researchers wanted to understand how different factors in our muscles affected their growth when they do weight training. They looked at 66 people who did weight training for 16 weeks. These people were divided into 3 groups based on how much their muscles grew. Some people had a lot of muscle growth, some had a little bit, and some didn't grow much at all. The researchers took small samples of muscle from these people before they started training. Right after their first session and after their last training session, they looked at the levels of certain genes in the muscle samples to see how they changed during the training. They found that some genes like IGF-1, aka growth factor 1, and MGF, aka the mechano growth factor, increased in all the people after training. IGF-1 and MGF are key molecules involved in promoting muscle hypertrophy, repair, and regeneration in response to stimuli such as exercise or injury. So they pretty much noticed that the IGF-1 gene and the MGF gene were increasing more than others, which were the ones that were building the most muscle. So this is the myth about how a bad physique from the beginning does not mean that you have bad genetics. Just because you're skinny, just because you're fat, and you look like shit does not mean that you're gonna have bad genetics. You could blow up and become a fucking beast. There's only one way to find out. Like a lot of videos that do good on TikTok and like Instagram and like YouTube and stuff, a lot of the people that are like in the whole influencing industry claim that they have bad genetics and then they blow the fuck up. But in reality, they're just skinny, they're just fat. They just didn't have muscle to begin with because they were not training the muscles at all. If you're not training a muscle, then it's not gonna grow. So you could be completely surprised. No matter how bad you think your genetics are, you could completely surprise yourself. And that's pretty much what all these influencers did. They pretty much all surprised themselves with a crazy fucking physique. And obviously, depending on the genetics, your physique is not going to blow up like theirs. Or it may not blow up the way that you're envisioning it. So if you see an influencer and you're like, man, I wanna look just like that guy, you're probably not gonna get that, right? But like literally, your muscle insertions probably don't match the ways that theirs do, 100%. I mean, you might have like the same biceps as someone, but like the chest too, and the shoulders, along with the abs, probably not. It doesn't really mean that they're on TRT. I mean, it's 2024. In today's day and age, we don't know if you're natty or not, unless you look at blood labs or something. But it all just comes down to genetics. Your IGF-1 and your MGF signaling molecules may not respond as aggressively or as fast as someone else's. And this calls for all realms of human endeavor, right? If you got a family bloodline of hard-working motherfucking badass bodybuilder and they got bad genes, it's still gonna run through the whole family. I work a labor job. There's guys that are fucking jacked just from doing the work that they do, and then there's guys that hit the gym and are doing intense labor that don't build any muscle at all, and then there's guys that hit the gym and do intense labor and build muscle on top of all of that. If you end up working like a labor job, then like, yeah, it will help you because you are working your muscles. The only way to actually see muscle growth in a labor job is if you're not hitting the gym and you're just letting your muscle build from the actual work that you're doing. As long as you're getting good night's rest, you're getting good quality sleep with it too. Full 8 hours of sleep, you're taking your rest days, right? You're taking a high micronutrient diet. You're taking your whole foods and you're getting the vitamins from the whole foods and not just, you're not just pilling down a bunch of supplements like you're a drug addict. You're getting real nutrition from a real food source. It's okay to take supplements, but come on, you gotta take your actual whole foods too. You can't just be living off supplements while you're eating donuts all day. As long as you're following a really good training program that's tailored down to your needs, and you're doing a whole program too with your split, your specified split, the split that you love to do, along with the program that you like to do as well, like a mesocycle or a conjugate method, or the power hypertrophy adaptive training, the juggernaut training, just something that's tailored to your needs. Good stress management, staying away from microplastics, chemicals, estrogen. If you're doing all those things, you're really just doing the best that you can already. If you can't afford the diet to get your micronutrient needs, then yeah, get supplements. So staying on tune with your supplements, taking them when you need to do them every single day, drinking a gallon of water a day with creatine monohydrate. If you're doing all that stuff, you're not doing anything wrong. You're doing the best that you can. You should steer away from taking TRT. Let me know if you want me to make a video about that in the future. Research is going on to develop strategies to modulate gene expression. I don't really think you should try any type of like gene expressions though, especially if it's like a new thing, unless you want to be like some little like test rat guinea pig, then you want to take the risk. High risk, high reward, am I right? No, you don't want to be the guy that's got poor microRNAs like your IGF-1 and your MGF either. It pretty much means that you're like borderline fucked, right? Well, not really, but it does suck. If this video does good, I guarantee somebody that's watching this video has that problem really fucking bad. I myself am actually making this video because I feel like I have cases of it, at least in my chest. My shoulders and bicep too. I mean, I flex my bicep. I've been training for 5 years, and no, probably not my bicep. Don't get bad genetics mixed up with body dysmorphia, all right? But like I said, I'm taking the time to do research in this video because I think I have it in my chest. My triceps are pretty fucking crazy though. I mean, look at these bad boys. And I don't even train them. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to do a little bit of dialing in, a little extra hard. But in all reality, why is that really a bad thing? Why is that really a bad thing that you can never have a cheat meal? Why is it a bad thing that you have to constantly be cracking down on taking your supplements at the exact time every single day with your creatine, with your gallon of water? You can't miss a gym session, you gotta get good sleep. You might be in my situation where you can't afford a high micronutrient diet, so you gotta find a second hustle to actually afford your high micronutrient diet. Doing your own personal research on this and not just scrolling through TikTok and taking all the mainstream advice on it. You gotta actually get in there and dive deep into the diving board, or the rabbit hole I meant to say. Trying to be the best at what you do at your hobby is not necessarily a bad thing. You're staying disciplined over something that's going to keep you really healthy. If you're doing all of this, you're keeping yourself away from all the bad shit like alcohol and drama and shitty people and toxic friends, and you're using pain as fuel. And at this point, you're not even going to have time for any of that bullshit anymore. You're too busy. You're not fucking around anymore. If you're constantly doing the parts that you don't like to do, imagine what you could do if it's something that you want to do. Because it honestly blows my mind that there's people out there that get a nice, good thought, a good, healthy thought in their head about something that they should do, but they never do it. They mention it, they think about it, they want to do it, they don't do it. And this is just my personal experience. Ever since I got into lifting, it's been a lot easier for me to try new things, getting out there and doing something new in life, like gathering information about bodybuilding and trying out the new foods that I'm doing research on that apparently help with my testosterone and help with my gains and help gets the micronutrients into my body that I need. And it's a food that I don't even like to eat anyways, and I still cook it up, I still throw it into meal prep containers, and I still eat it every single day. So if I have to do something that I don't like to do, I'm already doing something that I hate doing. I hate cooking it and I hate eating it, but I'm doing it anyways. And a lot of the things that I don't want to do are actually a lot easier to do than it is cooking and eating that shitty food that I do. Because we all know by now, we're not even eating for pleasure anymore. We're eating to just build muscle now at this point. But you're also accepting the challenges that you decide to bring yourself as a life experience. You make it to the gym on time every single morning. You hit all of your meals on time every single day. You're drinking your gallon of water every single day. What do you think that's gonna do with the rest of your life? What, are you gonna show up till fucking work late? No, you're gonna be on time at work. Every time your friends wanna hang out, you're gonna be on time to see your friends. If you're going out of your way to revolve your life around the gym, just think about all the stuff that you want to do for the people that you love too. You're going to be going out of your way for the people that you love as well. You got a date coming up. What makes you think you're going to show up late to that? You're never going to be late for a class either. You're going to be showing up on time to everything, and it's going to make you a great person. You're going that extra mile for yourself. What makes you not think you're going to go that extra mile for everyone that you love? If you don't regret every cheat meal that you eat, and you don't feel like shit after you eat it, then I think you just need to lock in just a little bit harder. In conclusion, if you're struggling to build muscle and you've tried all the things that I've said and people are still coming up to you, oh, you're not trying hard enough, blah, 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 blah. You need to go harder in the gym. You need to focus. You need to dial the fuck into your diet. You're not doing the exercises right. You gotta go a little bit slower. You gotta go through the whole movement. No, you're already doing all of that. Silently reflect and refer back to this video and understand that they are probably wrong. If you're doing all the right things already and they're telling you that you're not training hard enough or you're not doing something right when you know damn well you're doing all the right things, then just refer back to this video and silently think to yourself that they're probably the wrong ones. I'm gonna piggyback on this video one day if I ever come across a gene testing facility, lab testing thing, because I genuinely want to figure out a way to test my genetics to see if I actually have bad genetics or not. If I can do that, I'll make a video about it for sure. That's something that I have planned. But for now, stay tuned.